All right, well, welcome back after the starter. Hope you hit the big green check and got that all saved away. Be sure you come back and check the comments because I am leaving both audio and written comments for you. I know it's important sometimes to hear a voice and know that somebody else is out there. Speaking of other people being out there, look who made it to class on time. Yeah, he wasn't quite on time. He's got Mark tardy. Fred told me he got hung up down at the park. It was a bright sunny morning today, and there were people laying on the grass and drinking their coffee, and he just kind of got carried away down there. But he's here now, ready to move on. And so we're going to be writing some chemical reactions today, right, Fred? All right. So just like in the starter, remember that we are going to start by writing reactants. And that's just putting the elements for these synthesis reactions on the left side. Then you're going to make sure that there's a plus sign between the elements and an arrow, meaning yields, over to that product side on the right. Okay, then write the product. Remember, you're just putting the two elements together. The one that comes first is the one that is furthest to the left on the periodic table, the metal. All right, step number three, check for diatomic elements. Remember that those 7 elements, starting with element 7, can never travel alone. So check and see if they're with a friend, and if they're not, make sure they have a little 2 behind them. All right, the next one, balance the product. That's just the 5-step crossover. Remember, get the charges and then cross the numbers over. And last, come back and balance the entire equation. All right, so we're going to do some practice here. I've got 3 of them to work on, and if you want to write them along with me, you're welcome to do that. If you'd rather just watch the video, make sure you're knowing how to do it, you can do that and then come back later, watch the video. One of the advantages of the remote learning that you get to watch the videos as many times as you like. All right, here we go. So our first reaction today is going to be lithium reacts with oxygen. So what we're going to do is that I'm going to switch this over so that I'll go back and forth, or try to a little bit here, so that you can see how we solve this. So lithium reacting with oxygen. All right, so step 1, we've said, is write the reactants. So it's simply Li plus O. I know there's some of you out there that are going, come on, but okay, we'll get going. Arrow, yields. Write the product. Remember that lithium is furthest to the left in the periodic table, so it's going to come first, and I'm not going to jam this up. I'm going to try and leave a little space there. That's the second step, lithium and oxygen. Step 3 is go back, check for diatomic. So again, this one's traveling with a friend, no 2 needed. The other one, though, by itself, got to have a little number there. All right, that's diatomic check. Let's go over and balance the product now. Oxygen minus 2, lithium plus 1. So it's going to be Li2O. And finally, we'll balance the entire expression. So there's 1 oxygen on the right side. So we have to put a 2 there. That means there's 4 lithiums and 1 oxygen. All right, the second one that we're going to practice with today, aluminum with chlorine. So aluminum with chlorine. Aluminum with chlorine. I'll give you a little head start here if you're writing aluminum with chlorine. Okay? Just write the reactants. It's synthesis, which means we're going to combine these into one single product. And so in this case, aluminum's furthest to the left, so I'm going to write it that way, AlCl. Okay? Step 3, I need to check for diatomics. One more time over here, chlorine, got a friend. No need for a number over there yet. The other chlorine needs a 2 behind it because it's by itself. Step 4, we've got to go balance our product, and in this case, AlCl3, as aluminum has a +3 charge, chlorine -1. The last thing we need to do is balance the entire reaction. And so let's see, we have 3 chlorines on the right and 2 on the left. So 2 out of 3, let's see, yeah, we're headed for 6. So that gives us 6 chlorines on the left, 6 chlorines on the right. And we have to balance the aluminums. And there's the balanced expression. All right, the third one that we're going to do is nitrogen with calcium. All right, so here we go. Nitrogen, I'm going to write the reactants. Nitrogen plus calcium. All right, now some of you may be saying, whoa, wait a minute. Calcium's on the left side of the periodic table. Why did it not come first? Just like when we write a recipe in cooking, the order of the ingredients really doesn't matter to us. We can write calcium first if we want to, or we could write the nitrogen first. On that left side where there's a plus, it doesn't matter, just like in math. If it was 1 + 2 or 2 + 1, those are the same thing. Same in chemistry. All right, we still need the arrow, and on the right side, now it makes a difference. Calcium is further to the left. It must come first in the molecular formula. All right, so I've written a correct product. And now I've got to go back, check for diatomics. Well, let's see, on that right side. Okay, I checked, nitrogen there, it's with a friend, don't need anything. Nitrogen on the other side, though, traveling by itself, needs a 2. So nitrogen there and calcium. And now it's time to balance our product. Well, calcium, remember, is +2, nitrogen -3. So we have to switch those numbers, and it's going to be Ca3 and 2. And then I'm going to just erase, clean that up a little bit. All right. Now that that's all done, I'm going to, let's see, start to compare 2 nitrogens on the left, 2 on the right, 1 calcium on the left, 3 on the right. So I think I'm going to need a 3 there. And I think then it's all balanced and ready to go. All right, so if you need a little bit more practice with those, we're going to do more practice. It takes a little bit to get good at doing these, and so I'll be watching, doing some comments for you. So what you should do now, head on over to Seesaw, and it's time for a virtual lab. This will be your first one of these. It is burning magnesium. This is kind of a special one to me because several years ago, sitting in our classroom, I burned the magnesium, did this experiment, and set off the fire alarm and evacuated all of Sunset High School. So at any rate, hope you enjoy the Seesaw activity, and I'll have more things for you next week.